Good day everyone. We are the first presenter and we are here to present to you our classroom action research proposal in Field Study 412 titled Enhancing the Level of Student Motivation in Learning Physics Through Game-Based Learning. Part 1: Context and Rationale. Students' motivation is optimal for achieving learning outcomes. However, students find it hard to cope with the return of face-to-face classes, and it has impacted students' learning processes and should not be overlooked even after it has passed. In scientific learning, physics is considered as one of the most complex subjects. Teaching physics and connecting it to the real world is a challenge for teachers in the teaching process. The problem faced resulted in poor academic performance of students. According to Lantajo and Tipolo in 2019, the academic performance of students shows a significant decrease, especially in physics due to low in motivation. In addition, students struggle in physics because they must grapple with several representations, such as experiments, formula and computations, graphs, and conceptual explanations simultaneously. In addition, the reality that studying physics is at its demise primarily asks for improvements in teaching and learning process to mitigate the problem in the level of motivation of students. The demand for scientific literacy throughout the population is crucial for bridging the science skill gap. The prevalence of games in the modern world has shown that teachers believe integrating new technologies through game-based learning in class helps students embody their teaching and learning methods. Game-based learning entails creating learning activities so that game traits and concepts are within the lesson discussion. Game-based learning is the application of specific game elements to real-world settings to immerse students in classroom discussions, according to Tribus 2015. The motivating psychology inherent in the game-based learning helps students to connect with instructional content entertainingly and dynamically. Game-based learning is more than simply making games for students. It is also about constructing learning activities that may gradually introduce concepts and direct users towards a common objectives. With this situation, the researchers believe that the application of GBL can increase students' motivation and further improve their academic performance as it serves as essential function in reducing the difficulty of studying physics and keeping students engaged while learning its principles and concepts. Thus, the conduct of the study will determine the efficacy of GBL and increase the level of motivation in learning physics. Part 2: Action Research Question. The primary goal of this study is to utilize game-based learning to increase the level of motivation among grade 7 students in learning physics. Specifically, it aims to answer the questions.
First question: will the utilization of game-based learning help grade 7 students increase their extrinsic motivation in learning physics? And second, what is the effect of using game-based learning in improving the extrinsic motivation of students in learning physics?
Proposed innovation, intervention, and strategy. The study will propose the implementation of game-based learning as an intervention to enhance students' motivation in learning science. It is anchored in the theory of gamified learning by Richard Landers 2015 and experiential learning theory by David Kolb 1984. The study will utilize cabbage relay, 4 picks 1 word game, and roll the dice game as proposed strategy of this action research. Game-based learning. Game-based learning, or GBL, entails creating learning activities so that game traits and concepts are within the lesson discussion. Game-based learning is the application of specific game elements to real-world settings to immerse students in classroom discussion, according to the study of Tribus 2015. In addition, it has been emphasized that for the digital native generation, Incorporating games in learning content facilitates the utilization of knowledge intended to be learned and more in-depth understanding of the contents. Chong L. and Chong R. 2016. Gamified Learning Theory. According to the gamified learning theory, gamification indirectly modifies or mediates learning by stimulating learning-related behavior. Students who lack motivation and do not actively participate in class will benefit less in the learning process. According to the gamified learning theory, gamification does not directly affect learning but rather activates a learning-related behavior through a mediating or moderating process. Learner-related behavior may be anticipated to some extent depending on how learners perceive, comprehend, and apply knowledge. Thus, the use of set rules and goals will increase an individual's motivation to learn. As in the context of gamification, motivation and behavior is the outcome, according to Landers 2015. Experiential Learning Theory. The next theory that the study is anchored is the Experiential Learning Theory by David Kolb, 1984. It states that experiential learning is the knowledge results from the combination of grasping and transforming experience. It emphasizes on the notion that experiencing real-world experience is the greatest method to learn new things. This recollection remain in memory of students and aid with fact recall and information retention. The teacher-researcher will utilize cabbage relay, 4 picks 1 word, and roll the dice game as the main tools in implementing the game-based learning. These tools are games that will make students' learning environment more interactive. 4 picks 1 word motivates engagement and interaction in the classroom, driving students to think and analyze the main idea behind those 4 pictures helps them become more attentive during lectures and related discussions. Teachers can use the game as a warm-up activity and the puzzle as a teaching point. Roll the dice. It encourages attention and interaction in the classroom. Selecting students randomly through 2 dice rolled simultaneously keeps students' attention and excitement kindled. It enables them to focus and be attentive. 1 dice has plus and minus symbols, and the other dice are labeled on its side with numbers 1 to 6 respectively. The Cabbage Relay game is an interactive game derived from rolled paper with written questions. It enables participation and interaction in the classroom. Students will form a circle and pass the rolled paper while playing a pop and fan song. By playing this game, students will be encouraged to answer when it's their turn to open the cabbage and answer. Also, the teacher will briefly explain each answer to elaborate further.
Action research methods, participants and other sources of data and information. The respondents included in this study are grade 7 Lily students of Davao City National High School. Through total population sampling, 51 students are included in the study, which consists of 26 males and 25 females. The students are chosen as the respondents of this study to determine the efficacy of game-based learning in improving students' motivation. A quantitative descriptive research design was utilized in this study. Hence, to obtain the intended data and information for the analysis, the following data sources are considered by the researchers. First is games, researcher field notes,
focus group discussion,
and pre-tests and post-tests. For the data gathering methods, the action research follows a descriptive design which included qualitative and quantitative components. Upon conducting this study, the data gathering procedure will be divided into the following significant parts: preparation, actualization, collection of data, and interpreting and analyzing of data. With this, the researchers devised a plan for a systematic way of gathering qualitative data. The following steps are stated below. First, asking for permission to conduct the study from the authorized personnel of the Davao City National High School as well as the parents of the students. Second, the pre-test. Third, administering the intervention of the games Cabbage Relay, 4 Picks 1 Word, and Dice Dice Baby to the 51 participants. Fourth, the post-test. Fifth, focus group discussion. The researchers will conduct a focused group discussion to gather further data and information about students' experience and perceptions on applying the GBL in physics class. And sixth, interpreting and analyzing the data. The flow chart of data gathering procedure. Data analysis plan. The gathered data will be summarized, translated, and analyzed systematically to gain knowledge. Thus, the following scheme will be followed. Mean to determine the average test scores from the pre-test and post-test of the students. Frequency distribution to analyze the data collected throughout the study. Ranking of the test score results. T-test to determine whether there is a significant difference between the means of the action research study on students' motivation in learning physics through game-based learning. And descriptive method to describe the characteristics of the phenomenon being studied.
For our action research work plan and timelines, we have the whole month of February. The activities are school principal approval to conduct the action research, students' profile request, parents' consent submission, and the class orientation. The last week of February up to the first week of March 3, 2023, we will conduct the action research and gathering of data. And this will be done by the researchers and the students and also the cooperating teachers at Davao City National High School. For the month of March, we have analysis of data, reflection writing, and this will be done also at Davao City National High School by the researchers. And lastly, by the month of April, packaging of the output, final output, and sharing of research results. This will be done at Davao City National High School and Yusuf Abrera campus. For the cost estimates, we have a grand total of 1,700 pesos. Please refer to the table. Excluding the professional fee, we have binding of research paper, cell phone data usage charges, transportation, and the printing of the materials, including the ink and the paper. So again, a total of 1,700 pesos. Now for the plans and the dissemination and utilization. Once this result of the study has been analyzed, assessed, and evaluated, the findings will be disseminated to the participants, members, and stakeholders of the institution. Now through this study, a better understanding of how students interact through the GBL will aid pedagogical intervention of the teachers. Likewise, if given an opportunity, the finding of this study would be presented to the researchers during the annual research forum of the Department of Education Division of Davao City. Furthermore, this would also be utilized as a classroom strategy in helping the students and stakeholders achieve future endeavors and make better contribution to science and technology education.